Please help me welcome today's speaker, also known as the trashiest woman in town, Jennifer Richardson.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a little shorty. Anyway, thank you so much for having me this morning. I'm just delighted to be here and to talk to you about the trashiest thing in Baton Rouge, you know. Anyway, I, just like you said, started Keep Tigertown Beautiful because I couldn't stand the litter. We started the group in the height of COVID when we weren't even supposed to, see anybody, lock your door, pull your shades down, and wash your groceries off when they were hand delivered to your doorstep. Remember that? When we got out there and started the group, the very first cleanup that we did was right there. It was on the corner intersection of Essen and Jefferson, and the picture on the left was what it looked like before we cleaned it up, and it looked like a blighted city, right? And I took that picture after I pulled the weeds off of it that were as tall as me. There were, cigarette butts and water bottles, cans, lots of unmentionable things. And we got it all cleaned up. And then if you look to the picture on the right, look how beautiful our city is. I mean, we turned blight to beautiful. In 3 hours, we picked up 42 contractor bags. People came out. I advertised on Facebook and Nextdoor, and people came out, and I didn't think anybody would come out, and I was standing on that neutral ground, that long neutral ground, pulling up weeds, and cars were going by and saying, "What are you doing, lady?" And I'd say, "I'm cleaning up this filthy city," and they'd go, okay, and I look like an escapee from the nursing home across the street. There I was with my white hair, and I have to tell y'all I wear granny panties. But anyway, I was humped over pulling up those weeds, and I thought, well, nobody's going to show up, because it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. Who's going to show up? And then I look over, and people are coming out. And who came out? This was the best thing. People that were Republicans, people that were Democrats, people that were gay, people that were straight, people that were black, people that were white, people that were fat, people that were skinny, people that were tall and short. I mean, everybody came out because we had a common goal, common interest, right? It affects everybody, even your newborn children. It affects everybody. So we cleaned up, and after that 3 hours, 42 contractor bags later, and we posted it on Facebook, and it just went viral. And I think it was the consensus of everybody there that we felt euphoric. I mean, can you imagine? We weren't even supposed to be together, and we were high-fiving each other. We were so excited. We were so thrilled to do something ourselves, not have to wait on the government, not have to wait on a contractor to come clean up our city for us. So next picture. We decided that we loved it so much we wanted to do it again. So the next week we said, let's go to Bluebonnet and Perkins. Let's go clean up Bluebonnet and Perkins. So we cleaned up Bluebonnet and Perkins. And then since then we've been rolling up our sleeves, and we're not just picking up litter on the side of the road anymore. This is a picture of the Segan hellhole. This is what's in between those two walls at Segan. And we picked up 64 contractor bags of garbage in about 2 hours with snow shovels and pickers. And it was disgusting. And we picked all that up. And most of that, what we picked up was uneaten food. Uneaten food. Because when the panhandlers or at these intersections, they have serious drug addiction. And what happens is they don't want the food. They tell me, we don't want any more food. But 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, they are handed food. And it was just disgusting, right? So next picture. This is the Bluebonnet hellhole. We also did the same thing on Bluebonnet. All that trash, we cleaned all that up. Next picture. This is just homeless camps that are abandoned camps where people go in and just leave a nightmare of a mess. We're talking rats. We're talking just drug needles everywhere, liquor bottles, beer bottles. That's what the main ingredients are at these kind of places. Okay, next. This camp was on private property. The sweetest man ever, with the biggest heart, owned this property behind Home Depot. And they just kept putting tents up and trashing his property. And the poor man would have to clean it up to the tune of about $10,000 because it's private property. And we cleaned it once and maybe 1.5 times. But then we helped the man get professional people with big dumpsters and all to clean it. And so this is what happens. They come and they take over your property. Everywhere in Baton Rouge where there's a vacant land, they are living in your property. So next. This is another camp. That's part of that same camp that we cleaned out. It was a mountain. It took 2 dumpsters, 2 rolling dumpsters, trucks, big trucks to get rid of it all. And okay, next. That's just more of the same. This is the thing that gets me. This homeless camp was on the steps of City Hall. On the steps of City Hall. I mean, who is brazen enough to do that? It's like a statement, like, I'm going to do this, They're not worried about respect for the government. So they just pop their tent right there on the steps of City Hall. This was a cleanup that we did. It took us about an entire month of Sundays. After we do our Saturday cleanups, we would go here on Sunday mornings, and we'd have to get there like real early, probably 6:30 because it was 100 degrees outside. And we would go in these ditches. These are canals. And what the addicted people do is they steal grocery carts all over Baton Rouge, and then they dump them, just leave them on the side of the road, or they threw them in the ditch. We had about 18 shopping carts that we pulled out of this ditch, and about 80 bags of garbage, and furniture, dead animals. It was awful. But that ditch is clean as a whistle right now. It looks really fabulous. And not only that, go to the next picture. I think it's on the next picture. We find drug needles. But this is right now, let me just tell you, this is new. We found this on Saturday it was under the Segan overpass, like if you're going behind Lowe's. We were cleaning up Saturday, and we came across the biggest haul of drugs that we have ever seen. And we've been doing this for 26 months, and I've never seen anything like this. Those drugs were paralyzing drugs that you would get in a hospital to paralyze you before surgery, or to totally knock you out. Propofol, all kinds of paralytics, numbing drugs with epinephrine in it, and most of those bottles were full, and the syringes were full of drugs. And we called the sheriff's office, and of course we got a dispatcher, and she told us to pick all the drugs up and take them to the Baton Rouge General, which we did because we knew we had to do it quick before we even thought, like we're transporting illegal drugs now in our car, like buckets of them, right? We could have been pulled over, arrested, who could get me out of jail? I don't know. Anyway, so we find this is what we normally find. This is normal. We find drug needles like that, and we find Narcan. That's all. This is your tax dollars are paying for this. So just to let you know. And here, those alcohol bottles, I picked those up in an 8x10 little area on Highland Road and Lee Drive. There's thousands of those. I wish I had $1 to buy contractor bags with every one of those little bottles that I find, and the drug needles. Those drug needles, that's very common for us to pick up. Yeah, the sins of the city are on the streets. See that little cute little night-night? Well, Sue, one of my litter warriors, found that hanging in a tree in front of a hotel. And I said, this is just too fun, right? And then on the right side, okay, there's all the little cigarettes, condoms, drug needles. We find bongs and all kinds of porn, all that. And the thing that upsets me the most is, think back when you were a kid or when you were raising your kids and you drove up to a park and you could go, okay, y'all, go get on the slide or go get on the swing. Well, now you better check that park out before you let your kids go to the park, because there's drug needles, there's used condoms, there's drug paraphernalia, all kinds of unsavory things. And, it's to the point, I want to be nice and I don't want to be negative, but these are our children. These are our grandchildren. I mean, what's more important? What is more important? When you give your money at intersections, please don't do it anymore. I want you to give to the homeless people. Please give to the homeless people, but do not give to drug addicts, the cartel, the drug dealers, human trafficking. This is all happening right now. And I'm going to tell you something that you'll probably see on the news tonight is before I got here, I almost came here in my litter clothes and smelling like a pig farm. But we were instrumental in a bus today on Sherwood Forest, on the on-ramp. You'll be happy to hear this. There was a huge tent there, and there's been a lot of drug dealing going out of that tent, and human trafficking and prostitution. And we have been watching this go down. We've cleaned that out. We go in there when the guy's gone, we clean it all up, and he's back. And the United Cajun Army and the police department and Keep Tigertown Beautiful were there this morning. And we took down the tent. We got the guy out of there, and 2 of the guys were on they had warrants for their arrest, and we were able to get them off the street. So that's what we did this morning before I got here. And let me tell you, it's rewarding. Most of the people on my team are over 60 years old. We're 60. Like most people think, I'm going to watch TV and knit. And when I tell you these women, I want to tell you about Jane Dunlap. She's one of my litter warriors right there. Jane, can I tell everybody how old you are? She's 77 years old. And she is amazing. She is kicking butt and taking names. This woman right here, she's amazing. She's out there with us almost every day. I have Jason Jacob on my team, and he is oh God, I'm having a senior moment. He's a police state trooper. I'm sorry, having a senior moment. And Jason is out there with us every Saturday, helping us. And then we have about 3,800 members, and we have about 100 volunteers that come out, even on the weekends or on the weekdays, and people get together, and we love being together. It's awesome. So next picture, please. This was another thing. We find weapons all the time. Machetes. I think I know who that machete belonged to. The guy today from the tent. He had a machete, and he's got it now. Anyway, the guy, and we find knives and stuff, but one of our biggest finds was an automatic weapon. And Janice Bruyette in our group, she's about, 72, 3? And we were cleaning up around Bluebonnet, and she calls me and she goes, Jennifer, did you look at your text? And I said, well, I've been cleaning up litter. No, I didn't get, well, look at your text. So I look at my text, and I went, oh my God. She goes, it's an automatic weapon. I said, I know, well, where are you? She said, I said, what did you do with it? She said, well, I was picking up litter, and I just picked it up, put it in my cart. I said, well, where are you now? She says, I'm on my way to the police station. I went, oh, my God. I said, there's a couple of sheriff's deputies in the parking lot where we were parked. I said, bring it over here. So she brought it in. She pops her trunk like she's, grocery shopping. And she pulls out, there's an automatic weapon, and all the police are looking at it, and we're all looking at it, and all of a sudden they started dying laughing. They said they put the magazine in backwards. So we found that. We also found a pink handgun, and it was loaded. Both of these guns were loaded. So we pulled those off the street. Next picture, please. Oh, this is my favorite thing. We find money all the time. We call them blessings, because we need bag money to keep us going. We picked up over like 8,100 bags to date of contractor bags. They're expensive. And it's just people on the streets will just say, here's, $20, or here's, $100 to buy, keep buying bags, keep doing it, right? So we always find money, and the litter warriors, when they find money, they don't pocket it. They run back to the where we're parked, and they go, I found the bag money. And so we take pictures of them with the bag money. Okay, this is a picture of when we cleaned out that ditch. This was across from Home Depot, that big ditch where all those carts were. Those are all those carts that were in that ditch. We had to go dive in that ditch, and it was as deep as this room is from floor to ceiling. We dove in that ditch, and that's what it looked like. Okay, next. Okay, this is my favorite little sign. I love this. Let's talk about the signs. Okay, so the city, I called the city. I said, hey, how can we have a litter campaign without litter signs? And they said, well, okay, we'll get some signs up. So they did these great signs, and with a good little message on them and everything. And the addicts climb up to the top of the poles. They must be 20 feet off the ground. They yank them off, and they write profanity on the signs, and they do other nasty things on the signs, okay? So don't give your money to these people. Go back, one slide back. See that sign? That was at Bluebonnet. And so this is what the guy wrote on his sign. So they went back to Siegen because the people at Bluebonnet weren't giving him enough money. So they, so I thought that was funny. We took a picture of that. Anyway, next. So this is the thing. The drain, we have a serious drainage problem that leads to flooding because all this stuff ends up in drains. On the right and on the left, that's a culvert that was completely stuffed with litter. Okay, so how can it drain? Well, that's why our properties are flooding. The one on the right, it was a interior drain on Drusilla in that McDonald's parking lot, and it was completely full, about 8 feet or 10 feet deep on the inside, and there was nothing, no little bit of water was going to flow through that drain, nothing. Next one, please. Here are our litter warriors, our 70-year-old grannies in the drain. And then this woman on the right came to one of my cleanups, and she jumped out of her car, and she had shorts and flip-flops on, and she goes, what do you do? What do y'all do? And I said, we're cleaning up the city. And she said, well, I want to help. I said, well, okay. Well, you don't have any shoes on. She goes, I don't care. So she pulls out all these Mardi Gras beads out of a culvert. These beads are old. That drain had been clogged for God knows how long, and she completely unclogged that drain. Jumped out of her car. I call her Tony Macaroni. Anyway, next. Okay, this is a litter dam. Okay? And what happens is all these trees and brush gets in the canals, and all the plastic bags and styrofoam and water bag bottles and sheets of tarp and everything else, it just creates a litter dam. So how's the water going to flow through that? It's not. But we're calling attention to it so that people can pay attention to it. We can call it in and let them know at least, hey, you need to this is our tax dollars here. Let's, we don't want to flood again. Next. Okay, I know you've probably seen this. A friend of mine, Marie Constantine, she's I don't know if y'all seen her. I'm sure you have. But her photographer let me use these pictures too. What happens is when people throw these little pieces of plastic, like from a bottle top or a straw or any little pieces of plastic, birds are thinking that that is food, and it eats it, and then it brings it to the babies, and the babies eat it and they die. They're dying. All of our beautiful water birds are dying because of this. And so, caps off of a bottle. I mean, you think, oh, well, what's a little cap off of a bottle? Well, look at that. It's pitiful. Next. Here's just another one, a little, duck it's just very sad. Okay, next. Okay, this is another picture that I love, this picture. That canal behind where we're standing, that's where we pulled all of the grocery carts out. And that big old sign, that Regions Bank sign, you see how big that sign is? It was in the canal. So if all the other stuff wasn't draining, how was water gonna pass through that thing? So we pulled it out of the canal. We pulled mattresses out of the canal, TV sets, furniture. I've gotten poison oak so bad, for like 4 weeks, but we did it. Okay, next. Accomplishments, next. This is at the Burden Center. We participated in this cleanup. I know a lot of litter groups did participate in this. Clean Pelican came out. And we came out, and other groups, students and all, to help clean up the Burden Center when they came to get the Burden Center cleaned out. Y'all all know about that. 81 tons of trash behind the Burden Center in the watershed. Okay, next. This was horrible. This was on Bluebonnet across from the side entrance of Costco. This was a huge abandoned camp there, and we cleaned that out, and we had about 65 or 70 bags of contractor bags. It took us 2 days to clean that out, but we cleaned it all out. So, next. That's the Seagan hellhole, what it looked like after we cleaned it up. It's all clean. Next. Let me tell you about this guy. I love him. This guy saw me. We needed trash cans, so I put a Facebook thing. If anybody has any old trash cans, please let me know. Well, a pharmaceutical company called me. They said, we have 8 cans. We'd love to donate to you. So I was so excited. We got the cans, and I went to the intersections, and the homeless guys were saying, what are you doing out there, ma'am? I said, I'm going to put these. I said, aren't y'all sick of standing in all this filth? And they go, yes, ma'am, we hate it. And I said, well, guess what? They said, what? I said, I bought y'all some trash cans. And they went, really? I said, yeah. And they said, well, where do you want them? And I said, I want one over there. I want one over there. I want one over there. They put them on their backs. They carried them to the exit ramps for me. They put the concrete in the bottom. They put the bags. Then they started cleaning up the exit ramps, and it was beautiful. And one of the guys stayed a long time, and after I said, his name was Matt. He was a panhandler. I said, Matt, you are the bomb. Look what you just did for our city. Look how beautiful it is. This is all cleaned off now. And he said, what did you say? I said, you're the bomb. He said, can you tell me that one more time? I said, Matt, you are the bomb. He probably never had a compliment in his life. And it made him feel good. He loved it. I have homeless people that are, living on the interstate, and they're cleaning up. A lot of them do clean up for me and pick up because I leave trash cans there. I see all their little signs in there and all kinds of their food that they don't want. But this guy was not. He stopped me when I was dragging a can across Bluebonnet, and he's in the turning lane to go west. He jumps out of his car. He says, ma'am, what are you doing? I said, I need to get these trash cans in that hellhole right there. He goes, well, let me help you. And I said, okay. So he starts putting my cans in place for me. And the red light, turned green, and there's like 5 cars behind him. Instead of honking their horns and saying, move it, buddy, all the people had their thumbs up out the window. So it was pretty cool. That was a cool thing. So next. These are some before and after pictures of curbs. See all the cigarette butts and nastiness? I get a snow shovel and we just shovel it all up, and look at the difference in our city. Blight to beautiful. And that only takes like 10 minutes. EBR street sweeper, I'm the girl. We were presented at the Lady Tigers basketball game at Center Court. I've had the U.S. Army clean up at the lake, at the river. Because when the river got really, really low, I thought, wait, what a great time to go out there and get all that stuff out. You wouldn't believe the stuff we picked up. Probably 80 bags of contractor bags of garbage and all kinds of stuff. And then we were asked to be in the Broadmoor Christmas Parade. So that was fun. Next. And these are just some awards that we got. You heard about that. I'm not going to blah, blah, blah about myself. Okay, next. And then these are just some of the trash cans. Benny's Car Wash told us we could have all the cans we want. All those soap things that would be going into the dump. Guess what? We're not putting them in the dump. We're repurposing those cans, and we're putting them out everywhere we can. We have to maintain them ourselves, but businesses or we give them to businesses for free. All they have to do is maintain the cans. That's it. And we'll give them to them for free. And the concrete in the bottom, we're taking the curbs that are on the streets that are all busted up curbs. We take that concrete, we use the concrete for the bottom of the cans, and we get rid of that blight. And so we don't have all that concrete hanging all over the street anymore. Next. Oh, Mockler Beverage. Mockler Beverage gave us 40 cans, and they did a big cleanup with us. So we've got 40, that's why our cans are random. It's not like a beautiful city in Baton Rouge with the beautiful powder-coated cans, because they cost about $1,000 a piece. But for absolutely free and no cost to the taxpayer, not one penny, we've gotten those fabulous cans on the left from Sola Pharmaceuticals. Some guy called me and he said, I got 4 cans over at my farm and to put deer food in it. You want it? I said, yes, I want it. So he brought them to me, and I slapped a sticker on it, and they work fabulous. It's getting all the stuff off the street. So next. This is our city, y'all. This is our city. Mark Twain said that Baton Rouge is like a bride covered in flowers, right? And look at our city. It is. It's fabulous. Look at that. You know where that is? Sherwood Forest. That's where the drug dealer people love to shoot up, right there. I've found more needles there than any place else. But the beauty in our city is busting through no matter what. It's dying to come through. And look at it. That's how beautiful our city is, if we can just take care of it and stop trucks from spilling out their garbage off the back of their trucks, and get the right kind of garbage trucks that don't spew out all the litter the minute they pick it up. That's a lot of the problem. And then look at this. This is on the Perkins Road entry ramp going up Perkins Road. It's beautiful. It looks like a different city. Look at that. That's on Bluebonnet. That's on Bluebonnet. We have a beautiful city, y'all. We have to take care of it and take pride in our city again. Take back our city. We have to take our city back. This is where we live and we love. We're raising families here. So this is our new logo. We just got it. And anyway, thank you so much for letting me talk to you today. I want to say this one thing before I leave. Is I had this in my heart for a long time, and I bugged everybody about it. But when I told God yes, He paved the way, literally paved the way, because people have been coming out of the woodwork to help me. Boots on the ground, trash cans, trash bags, grabbers. I even had one guy that pulled up in a covered trailer with all the supplies in it brand new, and he said, here it is, this is for you. I mean, God is so good. I have to say that. And I have the best volunteers in the world. It's like I handpicked every one of them. They are the most devoted, awesome people you've ever seen in your life. Just amazing people. So if you have any questions, I'd love to answer anything for you if you have a question. Yes.
So I think about the beauty in the city is a lot of it, those pictures you showed of the flowers, but really it's those people that are out there, that those volunteers.
Yes.
But I wonder, do you get pushback from the homeless people when you take their Uzi or you take their stuff? Are they out there saying?
No. We don't take their stuff. Okay, we go into abandoned camps where they've left it. They've moved on. The clothes are rotting in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? We're not taking homeless people food. Just know that. These people are not homeless where we are taking stuff. They are trashing our city, trashing it. Like, I don't care if you're homeless or you're a billionaire. You don't disrespect our city.
Do they consider you an intrusion on their?
No, I know their names, and I'm sweet as pie to them, and they help me, and I listen to them like a mama. One time when we cleaned the Bluebonnet hellhole out, like 3 weeks later, I went, and there's this guy, with this little sign, and I looked down the hellhole, and it was getting nasty, and I had my litter stick, and I threw that litter stick on the ground, and I said, "Doggone it!" And the guy said, "What?" I said, "I just cleaned this up 3 weeks ago, and now look at it." I put my mama face on. He goes, yes, ma'am, I'll help you clean it." I said, "Okay, here's a litter stick, here's a bag. Let's get it on. Come on, let's do it." And he picked it all up, and after he picked it up, I said, "I know you need to get your money, but thank you so much for picking it all up." He said, "I really enjoyed that." I said, "Well, you did a great job. Look at you." It gave him a purpose, right? So, we do what we can. This morning, I didn't get to tell y'all about this, but we were involved in a major drug bust this morning. So on Sherwood, where that big tent is, there's a trafficking going out of there, drug dealing going out of there, and we had the United Cajun Navy there, and we had the police department there, and we had Keep Tigertown Beautiful there, and they were able to get the two guys. I know if I told y'all that, I think I did, but I'm sorry. So that's why I'm a little nervous this morning because of all that, but yes, sir.
Is the city parish picking up the trash cans, or?
No, they do. They will not pick our trash cans up, and they will not, but they will if we take the garbage out ourselves, which we do maintain ourselves, and we tie it off and we put it on the side of the road, they will pick it up. We call it in. Lately, they have not been picking up our stuff. So if you see a bunch of bags laying all over the road, it's not because we didn't do our job. That's from 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you do an outstanding job. Congratulations. Have you approached the parish about assuming their responsibilities on a contractual basis?
No, we have not. I don't think we're equipped for that. We do this for free because we love our country. I love our city. We haven't even thought about that. We're just so busy picking up trash 7 days a week, 2 hours a day, that, we haven't thought beyond that. But, we're doing the best we can. We love our city. We love the people in Baton Rouge, and everybody's been so good to us. The community has been unbelievably supportive. I can't tell you how fabulous it's been.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.